You can do this. Head down, follow through. And there's the win. Beautiful. Rugby. There's probably rugby happening in your neighborhood right now. It might even be the URC. Let's go over the results of the weekend so you can identify it more easily. I can't believe it's happened again. My favorite Northern team has now lost 3 in a row. Come on, Edinburgh. I chose you because I thought you were good. I can't believe it's happened again. The Lions have won 3 games in a row now. I'm beginning to have frankly disturbing fantasies of the Lions beating Leinster on their way to a Heineken Cup crown. Luckily, Ulster are in Joburg this week for a timely attitude adjustment. And Edinburgh, well, they get a chance to beat some kind of Lions at home again this weekend. The Italian variety this time. Ooh, Connacht, look at that fancy new rugby pitch of yours. And you managed to keep the dog track? Is there no end to your talents? Ooh, apparently not, because Munster didn't even look like beating you on Friday night. First win on the board for the boys in green. Next up though is the mighty Leinster. Here's hoping Connacht can spring a surprise. Munster next host the Bulls, a team they should really be beating at home. But Munster have been shooting the bed a lot this year, so don't bet on it. For the first game on Saturday, Zebre hosted the Stormers. Zebre are still just not good enough defensively to trouble the bigger sides, and they changed up Stormers, managed to get the bonus point. Zebre now head to Park Escarlets to try and get their first win of the season. But it's not likely though. The Stormers head to the Ospreys next, and both teams will be stacked with internationals, so hopefully this is a cracker. Then we got Leinster hosting the Sharks. And wow, what a game this was. Jenkins scored, then Fussy, then Ringrose, then Koch, Abrams, Ringrose again, Porter, then Abrams again. All the way up to 59 minutes, this game was amazing. But then, in a tale as old as Sexton, the bench depth kicked in. And it was over as a contest after that. Leinster ran away with it, and one of the best games of the URC season came to an end. Good though, real good. Up next for Leinster is Connacht, probably sans some of their big boys. The Sharks are back in SA to face the Warriors, and hopefully they were thinking, eating and sleeping defensive alignment for the entire trip. Scarlets hosted Cardiff at the same time that the Sharks versus Leinster game was going, and they showed us the other type of rugby that you can get. Very few tries, very high tackle completion rates, and a bunch of cards of all the colours you can think of. Every week has its bad game, and this was the one. Scarlets next host the very beatable Zebre, and Cardiff will be welcoming the surprise package Dragons. I'm sure both these games will be a lot better. Here's a lesson for the Bulls. If you want to win rugby games, put a muzzle on Jake White's motor mouth. Last season, he talked down to the Connacht players. This year, he deemed Glasgow's 4G pitch unworthy of the holy footfalls of Johan Goosen's blacked out Nikes. Both games ended in embarrassment for the Bulls. Maybe he does it on purpose to bring his team down to earth after a few wins. Anyway, Glasgow now head to balmy Durban for a tough one against the hurt Sharks. And the Bulls head to Munster, hopefully with Jake White in a gimp suit. Ulster then hosted the Ospreys, who decided to leave guys like Alan Wynne and Justin Tipuric out of their side. Ulster then decided to beat them like a team that didn't contain players like Alan Wynne and Justin Tipuric. It was also good to see Dwayne Vermeulen running around again. He's been missing a bit of rugby lately. The Ospreys will probably bring their big boys back to face the Stormers this coming weekend. And Ulster have raced the Lions to South Africa to put the upstart Joburgers back in their place. I am going to the stadium to watch it, and I hope that does not happen. Benetton's rise to Rainbow Cup levels of domination continues. This week it was the Dragons' turn to be turned into so much mulch. Good forwards, especially Federico Ruzza, combined with good backs, especially Federico Ruzza, are making Benetton very tough to beat at home. But they now head to Edinburgh to see if they can do all that dominating on the road. And the Dragons travel to Cardiff to see if they can knock over a Shield rival. Right now, the storyline of the URC is getting dangerously close to can anyone catch Leinster. This has to be avoided. Just send them over to Ellis Park so the Lions can sort them out. No, nasty, evil thoughts. How do you say this? News? The Women's Rugby World Cup is going like a Boeing right now in New Zealand. Well, maybe more like a Cessna airplane. I had such grand plans of watching midweek games while I was working, not knowing that they were only going to be playing on the weekend. Time zones are gonna time zone. All the favourites are putting up great performances, with the Red Roses being especially scary looking. I am keeping a keen eye on the South Africa versus Fiji match on the weekend. Hopefully the Bok women can get a win. What else? New Zealand and Italy have announced their squads for the autumn internationals, and I'm sure a whole bunch more will be announced in the next couple of weeks. The first matches are already on the 29th of October, which is real soon. Let's see if New Zealand especially can claw back some of that respect they lost in last autumn's tour. It was a toughie. And finally, World Rugby has bought Rugby Pass for some reason. I do go to their website sometimes and they have some good stuff there, often behind paywalls. Does this also mean that Ben Smith works for World Rugby now? The man who's made a living off trolling South African fans who don't know how the internet works. That guy. I don't know. Maybe they just want access to Rugby Pass's streaming ability or something. SuperSport owns all the rugby in South Africa, so it doesn't really affect us. And that was Rugby Update for this week. I will see you all next week after World Rugby's purchase of my channel has gone through. They are paying me with exposure. I think it's something you can use to buy food and electricity with. I'll let you know. Bye! That's clicky.